Hello, how are you? I'm Danette and this is Dawn, and we're from Lake Havasu City. We own the Value Guide Value Card. And Lake Havasu City is an absolute beautiful city to visit. January through April is a great time to come to all the events. We've got the Balloon Festival, the wonderful Barbecue Festival, great group of people out here. You got the Winter Festival, the Rockabilly, you've got the beautiful lake, hang gliders, you name it. There's all kinds of events. If you check in with the Chamber, they've got a list of things going on. Beautiful weather, and come out and enjoy Lake Havasu City.
I accept my duty to be a
I accept my duty to be a
Havasu Barbecue Music Brews and Barbecue Championship Judge. So that truth, justice, excellence in barbecue, and the American way of life may be strengthened and preserved forever.
Shrimp cocktail was very, very good. I just came from Vegas, so I like that's very good smoked flavor. We had prime rib, which is the best prime rib I think I've had. I'm not sure what they call this one here. It had very good taste to it, texture. And the once again with shrimp and a corn chowder in there was very good.
Are you only talking this thing? Okay, we had an excellent shrimp cocktail. Had a very good cocktail sauce with it, a nicely smoked shrimp, followed by an excellent prime rib. Probably one of the best I've ever eaten. It's a nice smoked prime rib, nice medium rare, cooked on there. I believe this is goat cheese with bacon and spinach. It was very good as well. And then we had the some kind of chowder here with shrimp in it as well, and the peppers was also excellent. We hit the jackpot.
He's right. We hit the jackpot. The shrimp cocktail was great. Smoked shrimp is something you don't see too often in shrimp cocktail, and they were done perfectly. The prime rib, agree with them. It's the best I've ever eaten. It just, somebody knew how to pick out a piece of meat. That was a great prime rib. The this is Parmesan cheese, I think. That's or Romano that's been crisped and made into a cup. Very creative. The stuffing was very good. The other one was the bell pepper with corn and cheese chowder. The shrimp on that were very good. It was all. We did hit the jackpot. This was great stuff.
Sorry? I suppose this meal was easily close to $100. So the shrimp cocktail I thought was good. The smoked shrimp were good. I think mine were a little bit overcooked. They were starting to break down a little bit. And shrimp is one of those things, if you don't get it exactly perfect, it kind of goes downhill fast. The prime rib I thought was excellent. What can you say about prime rib? It was very good, and it's overwhelming just in its sheer volume. The third one, the tuile or whatever it is of the cheese, and I think it was potato gnocchi with bacon and a cream sauce and some spinach in it, I thought was very good. I thought it was very creative, and it was probably of the four things we had, it was my favorite. And I thought the corn chowder that was served in the bell pepper was excellent also.
I come for the competition. I didn't think I was going to be served a four-course meal because we started out with the shrimp cocktail as the appetizer, which was excellent cocktail sauce. As you probably heard before, the prime rib was excellent, so you can't really say any more about that than it was excellent. As far as the other one, number 3 here, all the flavors kind of blended into me. The only thing I really got out of it was there was a bacon flavor, so let's just chalk that up to my uneducated palate. And number 4, as you see, is not here anymore. It was the bell pepper with shrimp and a corn kind of chowder. It was excellent. Shrimp were done well, and the corn chowder was delicious.
I started out with the shrimp cocktail. I thought the sauce was excellent, and I thought that my shrimp was done just right. Really enjoyed that. Going to the prime rib, the crust was very good. It was tender. The taste was there. Some people may not like the looks of that rare, but I think that's the way it should have been cooked. I scored it an excellent. The third item, it's already been said, but what you get right off the bat is the bacon taste, and then it just kind of goes away. And I don't think the appearance is that well. It's just kind of blah with all the yellows and the light whites and so forth. Now the bell pepper, it looked good. I thought the appearance score was very good, but and my shrimp was good, but I didn't like the chowder itself. I scored it down a little bit on taste there.
Cooking a little bit too fast. So.
Hey, Teresa, can you hand me a spatula, or I'll get it?
I got it.
Lots of heat on that grill.
Yeah. Well, plus the marinade caramelizes it a little bit, but didn't want them to get quite that dark. But.
Is that about a pound of crab meat?
Yeah. Yeah, it was exactly. I used a 1 pound can of crab meat. Sauce already in there? Yep. Okay. I'll tell you what, I'll set them there. Okay. 2, 3. Slide it up. I just don't want to bust up the crab. We'll just push. Okay. Got it. Snapped right on.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'm sorry.
I got this.
Okay, you want me to take this?
Yes.
Okay, let's go. On our way to the judges.
Good luck.
Okay, thank you.
Much. Oh, I know what it is. I know what that noise is.
The wind?
Yeah, my vent thing. Do you want me to put carrots on these? Yeah. How much? Enough for it. Looks pretty. Doesn't need to be a lot. Okay, you got 6 tacos. All right. got 3 more to do. You're gonna have to salvage some. The one is up there. The one that we used.
What about the other one? What about mine?
They're in the drawer.
In the drawer.
Do me a favor.
Sure.
You
See
need
that?
to,
See that coleslaw right there? The cabbage. Add it in. More.
Where's mine at?
More.
Did that break?
Load it up. Sure.
Jeez.
10 minutes. 10 minutes, right?
so that's enough carrots on these?
Yeah. Good. Looks pretty. That's all I care about.
Really? Really?
What? What?
Is it supposed to be in there?
This.
Oh, okay, fine. Chill. Beat it. Go. Beat
There's
it.
one of those with
Beat
them.
it.
Ooh. See, that's why I did this on here. Perfect. Do me a favor, can you turn that?
Spread them.
Can you spin that around?
Spread it all the way to the end so they get a bite in every bite of everything. See, this one has way more than that.
No? So we're gonna have way more, we're gonna have way less. I think perfect. Good. Throw a little diced celery in here. It's a nice little crunchy.
Get it all the way to the end.
I'm working on it. I got plenty of this. Don't stress it.
Not too much. That's good.
Okay, see that
Plenty.
cilantro? See that cilantro? Just a few sprigs.
You want to do it on the bottom or on top? I say on top.
We're going to do one on top of each one. We're going to do a few little sprigs inside just so they kind of get that flavor throughout. You know what I'm saying? Just two inside there. The cilantro. Put these little guys over the tops. Just for the color. So they look pretty. Oh, they're telling me it's time, huh? Alright, so here's how we're gonna do this, okay? We're gonna place them on here, and we're gonna put them in that bin to keep the heat in, okay?
Well, you can turn in now.
I know, but we're gonna walk them to the turn-in tent in that bin with the lid over it, okay? To keep the heat in. Shit. Okay, guys, hold on.
Did you do your final thing?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
We didn't forget it this time.
I'm just asking.
Yep. You remember that, huh?
I remembered the complaint.
Nothing like
Yes.
Abbey Road.
Beautiful.
What an experience it was. The first time we heard Abbey Road, and then shortly after that, the announcement that
Makes you hungry.
the people shut the
32.
place. Jaywalk.
51.
K-Rod, 100.7 in Lake Havasu and Kingman.
The Anderson Automotive Group is dedicating the month of January to the children of Lake Havasu City. Every vehicle sold this month, Anderson Automotive Group will contribute $50 to the K-12 Foundation. Any new, any pre-owned, any vehicle on any Anderson Automotive Group lot. That's Anderson Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Anderson Toyota Scion, and Anderson Nissan. $50 will be donated per each vehicle sold during the month of January. Great deals on Anderson vehicles. Anderson Consumer Cash. $50
Ooh, where did you get that? At that new little antique shop behind Watch Me Car Wash. I found so many things that I love. Your place is so cute. Kind of shabby chic. Yeah, I got most of it at T.
I thought as a category they were all excellent. But breast is at a disadvantage because it tends to dry out and the skin could not be chewed through. but the other 4 examples were, I thought, had great flavor and great tenderness.
Okay. Okay, of these 5 entrants, a little something for everybody here, all very different. The first one did not have any sauce on it, so they were at a slight disadvantage there, but they had a good smoky flavor throughout. The second one, very tender, but the sauce I felt was a little too tomatoey. Didn't have much depth there. Third one was very good, very tender, extremely spicy, maybe too much. The fourth one I thought was great. I gave it extremely good scores. Tenderness, it was sweet and spicy at the same time. Not easy to pull off, but they did it. It was very, very good. Definitely my pick of the litter. The last one, probably overcooked. It was a little too dry for my taste.
Okay, number 1, the breast, I thought it was a little dry. The skin was a little tough. Sauce might have helped that. Number 2, very tender and very good. I like number 2. Number 3, very tender as well, a little spicy, but I like that one as well, not quite as much as number 2. Number 4, I think, was my favorite. Tender, just enough spice to make it interesting. And number 5, a bit overcooked.
This was very interesting to me because this particular plate, it was very consistent, I thought. They were all, I thought, very tender and very tasty. Number 1 was unusual in that it was the breast, it appears, and it was good, but it was a little dry, but it had a nice smoky taste to it. Numbers 2 and 3 were both very good with nice spice to them. And number 4, once again, they were all very consistent. It was a very tender, very tasty piece of meat. And number 5, was probably the most well done of them all, but I thought it was very good also. I really enjoyed all of them.
Number 1 was the chicken breast. It was, for a chicken breast, it was very, very good. Although that's daring to do a chicken breast, you really got to watch it. Number 2, it was tender. The taste wasn't quite there. There was something missing. There was a spice in there that wasn't quite right. It was tender, though. It was really good. Number 3 was very tender, moist. The seasoning was still crusty and grainy. It had a weird texture to your mouth. The spices should have been ground up a little more powdery-like. It had an odd texture in it on my tongue and palate. Number 3 was outstanding. It was tender. The seasoning was perfect right on the chicken. The last one, number 5, was a little overdone. It was tender through the skin, but yet there was too much sauce on top of it.
Number 1 was a piece of breast that was very tender and moist. I liked it very much. Number 2 was tender but not very flavorful. Number 3 was cooked perfectly but just a little bit overspiced, but very, very tasteful. Number 4 was very tender, didn't have a lot of flavor on mine. And number 5 was overdone and hardly any flavor at all.
Grab that. Okay, so just scoot these over just a little bit. Hold the box. Look, are your hands dirty? No problem.
The first entry was pretty good. The second one was a little bit crusty along the top. The third one was pretty good. The fourth one was okay, and the fifth one was underdone and didn't have much flavor.
Okay, number one. When I started to chew on it, it tasted a little bit dry, and the flavor-wise, it tasted a little bit fruity to me. The appearance was excellent. Number two, I found that it had too much sauce for my liking when I looked at it because I couldn't see the meat, and it had a nice smoky flavor to it. I enjoyed that, and it was very good to chew and eat. I really liked that. Number three, well, it was a little bit dry when I was chewing on it, and it appeared very nice. Number four, I found the outside of the meat to be kind of crusty, and then the inside was a little bit softer. The meat was bland, and had it not been for the sauce, it probably would not have had much flavor. Number five, I felt that it was very chewy as I got in through it, and I couldn't identify a kind of a paprika taste to it. I mean, paprika jumped out on me, and that's what I grabbed from the flavor. The appearance was really, really good, though.
All right, number one I found to be kind of bland, and it had the membrane left on it, which made it kind of tough to bite into. The number two was flavorful. Sadly, it was overcooked because it fell off the bone when I bit into it, and it had a little more sauce than I like because it kind of hides the flavor of the meat. Number three, I bit into it. It was kind of tough to bite through, and the meat was dry, and it was just what I have, an average flavor, not anything that jumped out at me. Number three was a uniform cut, beautiful presentation. The sauce had a nice bit of a spice to it, but when you got to the meat, it was a nondescript flavor. The sauce flavoring had not enhanced the meat itself. And number five had an average flavor. It was pleasant. The problem was the membrane was left on that one too, and it was dry and very hard to bite through.
Okay, number one, it had no taste to it, very dry. I bit into it, it kind of just didn't have any taste at all that I could identify with. Number two, very, not too bad, nice smoke taste to it. I enjoyed it. Number three was a little dry, had a unique taste to it. The sauce was kind of sweet, I like that. Number four had a nice subtle smoke. The presentation was nice, and I didn't think it was too dry, but I enjoyed it. Number five is the one that had a nice presentation. I thought it had a kind of a layered taste to it. I bit into it. It was kind of out of a smoky taste at first, and at the end I kind of tasted a little bit sweetness at the end, so that was kind of nice.
Number one didn't have an awful lot of taste to it. It didn't come away from the bone completely. Number two had a little bit more taste to it, but it could have been overcooked, not sure. Number three was a little on the tough side, and number four was very good, and it did come away from the bone very nicely. It had a good taste to it. Number five was very meaty, but again, it didn't come away from the bone as much.
That rate's really coming out now. Yeah, that's good. That's easy. Hey, you seem like I've been dancing pork today. I tell you. I think you're going to kill it. Yeah.
Yeah?
And I'm even prejudging it before I see it finally done. Based on the way you put that money muscle together, it looked awesome.
The first one, I didn't really care for it because I believe it had a little too much spice in it. And the second one it was real bland. It had been cooked maybe a little bit too long. It was a little bit too overdone. The third one was also overdone. It had high spice, but it also was overdone. The fourth one was very flavorful. I believe it had been cooked right, and the spices were very good, and it wasn't overcooked, and it wasn't overcooked. The fifth one was pretty tough and pretty dry.
Okay.
Okay, on the first one, the flavor was something that I couldn't identify and I really didn't care for. The texture was okay. Second one, it was very bland, not very much taste. Texture was okay on it. Number 3 had a better flavor and the texture was good on it. Number 4 was my best one, favorite, and it had good flavor and good texture. And number 5 would have been nearly like number 4. It had good texture and good flavor.
Number 1 was a little, I didn't like the texture very much, and the taste was a little, all I could taste was sauce. The second one was a little too bland, a little overcooked. The third one, that was also a little more bland and overcooked. The fourth one was my favorite. Had just the right amount of sauce and the texture was fine. And the last one was a little tougher and a little overcooked, but it was pretty fair.
The first one I thought was slightly overcooked and somewhat bland. The second one was a little moister, but didn't have a lot of flavor either. The third one was a little tough, didn't have a smooth texture. The fourth one had good tenderness and good texture, but not a wonderful amount of flavor. The fifth one was my favorite, was juicy, stayed consistent, and had a very good flavor.
The first choice was a little bit oversauced and undercooked. The second one was definitely undercooked and a little bit tough. The third submission was one piece was overcooked, and then the pull part was a little bit overcooked. The fourth one was undercooked and flavorless, and so was the fourth one, a little bit overcooked and underflavored.
I thought the first entry was fair in texture. Was actually pretty good in texture, a little mushy, but I loved the bark on it. I got some pieces with bark that were just wonderful, that added some great flavor to it. It was a little bit oversauced. The second piece was definitely mushy and had poor flavor. The third selection, again, that was overcooked and the flavor was probably okay. Number 4 was the same type of thing. It just seemed like it might have been a little bit just too stringy. Now the last piece was something, it was long, it was definitely overcooked, and it was tough. I mean, it shouldn't have been, I don't think, a long piece of muscle, but again, that's my opinion. Thank you.
Okay. Song.
Naked Beauty's enjoy forever. Looks gorgeous to me.
Thank you.
My mindset is if it looks gorgeous, if it looks like a 9, it's going to taste like a 9.
So we hope the judges think that same way.
There you go. Life is good.
Okay, number one had good taste to it, but it was a little dry, a little overcooked. Number two was had a good taste to it and was moist and pretty tender. The third one was falling apart, but it had really good taste to it, but just a little overdone. The third one, or excuse me, the fourth one was had good taste and was very tender. And the fifth one had very good taste and it was just about right. It was a really good piece of meat.
Number one, I thought had a great taste, but it was probably a little over dry. Number two, that little nubbin that was like eating a marshmallow. It was so good and was much better, I think, than the larger piece. Number three, I think, was a little dry, but number three actually had a chemical flavor to it that was probably from over smoking or something. Number four was fine, and number five was really good, but a bit unappetizing in the size of the slab that we received.
Really windy today, tough conditions to get some good brisket going. Everything was just really average for me. The first one had good flavor, but it was really tough and overcooked. The second one, the burnt end was really good, but the flat was just very, very tough and hard to get, but the burnt end brought the overall score of it up. Third one had a good flavor. It was mushy, fell apart. The fourth one was undercooked, couldn't pull it apart. Had a decent flavor, but just couldn't pull it apart. Last one, they cooked the point and the flat together, which is kind of strange. And they cut it really thick so that it didn't fall apart, but it was also just kind of average and not super tender.
Hello. Number one, I didn't find it that good taste because it was so doggone dry. Number two was every bit as dry, and when they're that dry, I can't get a good taste. Number three kind of fell apart, hard to get it out of the box, but the small piece, nice and tender and yummy. Again, number four, by far and away the best one. Very tasty, came apart really nice, and when you do on the one with the point and the thick cut, one piece was one end was kind of dry, the other end was kind of tender and yummy. So overall, it was not that bad on the fourth one, but it was so big, it's a fourth and fifth, fifth and sixth. There you go.
Thanks, Bentley. Hi, I'm Adam Troxel from Daddy O's Smoking Barbecue out of Bakersfield, California. And we have Jeff, Tigger, and Patrick, and we're here at Lake Havasu, Arizona, and just showing you what we decided to do for lunch is a smoked barbecue pizza. We did use store-bought crust, but in preparation for this, we took and smoked jalapeno peppers on our pellet grill, our Traeger, for about an hour, and then diced that up. And then we also have a pulled pork going, and we took some of the pulled pork off. And so we just layered, it's a barbecue sauce, the barbecue sauce that we use in competitions. It mixed with a tomato-based sauce for the pizza. And then, so we layered the barbecue sauce with cheese, the jalapeno, cilantro, pulled pork, and onion. And we devoured one. We have one left. And this is after about 30 minutes, and it's going to be ready to come off here anytime. So One of the nice things about the Traeger is that we can cook and use it as a grill and get the temperature up. We're running it at 375 degrees and about 30 minutes. Well, there you have it. Smoked barbecue pizza from Lake Havasu, Arizona. Thank you.